Hey guys, welcome to Snake Nook. I'm Vanny and with me I've got little Atlas. He is my water python Laices Fuscus and he's going to be co-hosting about half of the video, and then we'll have another snake friend helping me out for the second half of the video. The topic of today's video is how many snakes is too many for the keeper? Well guys, we're going to go ahead and talk about some things that have to do with the husbandry of your pet snakes and also the care and well-being of your pet snakes. You're going to want to stay tuned. Well guys, if you are a keeper and you're wondering, do I have too many pet snakes? Am I in over my head with how many snakes I own? This is certainly a video that you're going to want to watch because it's going to help you just think about some of those things that perhaps we're not thinking about all the time as keepers. And it's easy, guys, to get in over your head when it comes to keeping pet snakes, because pet snakes are just, they are like potato chips. You can't have just one. So it's easy for a keeper to want to add a snake after snake because they become interested in different species at different times, and before you know it, it can get out of hand. So what can you do to monitor the number of snakes that you have? And hope he got tangled in one of my curls. What can you do to monitor? What can you keep in mind so that you are not overdoing it and you're not just continuing to add to your snake family without realizing that there could be consequences coming up? So we're gonna go ahead and just stick to a scenario of a keeper that has 10 snakes. Okay, this is a hypothetical situation here, but it's possible. So there's a keeper that has 10 snakes and the keeper is keeping 5 royal pythons, different morphs, that doesn't matter. And the keeper is keeping 3 corn snakes, different morphs, again, that part doesn't matter. And 2 carpet pythons. Okay, so there's your 10. Now this keeper is hoping to get 2 spotted pythons or 2 children's pythons or something like that, in Antaresia, because they don't have Antaresia. Now they want to work with Antaresia and keep it, possibly for future breeding purposes or just because they want to add Antaresia to their snake family. But maybe they already have too many snakes at 10. So how would this keeper even know? How could they even begin to monitor the situation of acquiring snakes and realizing, oh no, wait a minute, I should not acquire 2 more snakes of any species, because as much as I want to now work with Antaresia, I can barely keep up with the snakes that I have. Go ahead and start with husbandry, and we're going to mention enclosures because enclosures are very important for your snakes. That is obviously where they will spend a lot of their time for the rest of their lives while they are with you. So enclosures are very important. The standard size snake enclosure is the 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot. In my opinion, that is the standard size enclosure. And a 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot enclosure could potentially house most small to medium sized commonly kept species of pet snakes. If you are struggling, if you are that hypothetical breeder with the 10 snakes and you're struggling to even house your royals in 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot enclosures, then you have 5 royals too many. So remember, this hypothetical keeper has 5 royal pythons, 3 corn snakes, and 2 carpet pythons. So if this keeper is having to keep those royals in a rack system because of space and money, then they have 5 royals too many. Another thing with husbandry, guys, can you provide the heating element that is required to keep your snake doing well? Also humidity and decor and hides, purchase, anything that you may need to include within the enclosures to make sure that your snake has opportunities to do things like hide, move around, climb, go under things, go over things, things that have different textures for your snakes to use to aid them in shedding? Are you able to, if you are that keeper with the 10 snakes, are you able to provide all of these things in all of those individual enclosures and replace them as is necessary? Because that's another one. You may be able to furnish these enclosures, but as your snake continues to grow, or as these things wear down or wear out, you're gonna have to replace them. So if you have 10 snakes and you just don't want to replace anything, or you can't, then you may just have 8 or 9 snakes too many. As promised, here is another snake friend to help me with the second half of the video. This is Calliope. She is Morelia spilota McCaffey. She's an inland carpet python. What do you say, Calliope? Are you ready to host this part with me? Well, guys, the next thing that we're going to talk about is the well-being of your snakes. So again, we're going to think about that hypothetical keeper that is keeping 10 snakes, 5 royals, 3 corn snakes, and 2 carpet pythons. Okay, do you have time for all 10 of your snakes? Can you take them out and give them some outings so that they can explore, so that they can learn, so that they can move around, okay, guys? And you just don't have the time to see all 10 of those snakes, then you probably have 10 too many, or at least 9 too many. You have to make time for these guys. It's not just about you holding them and handling them just because you want to. It's more than anything, guys. It's about making sure that your snake has opportunities to move around, to explore, to do something different other than just hang out in their enclosures. So even if they're hanging out with you while you're watching videos, Snake Nook videos, that is, and they're just hanging out with you for a while, that's okay too, guys, because at least they get out of their enclosures and they're doing something a little different than they normally do. It breaks up that just boring routine that they may have in their enclosure. So do you have the time to spend with them? If you don't, if weeks and weeks are going by and you don't see them, you know, like 2-3 weeks, a month, my goodness, and you just don't have the time to take out your 10 snakes, that you probably have 10 snakes too many. Most commonly kept species of snakes typically eat about twice a month, maybe even up to 3 times a month or so once they are adults, but for sure at least twice. If you're keeping boas, when boas are fully matured adults, they could possibly eat once a month, maybe 4 to 5 weeks. But if you're keeping royals, carpets, colubrids, anything like that, guys, those snakes will eat about twice a month. So if you're really stretching that meal schedule to where they're barely getting that monthly meal, that's a big red flag that perhaps you have 8 or 9 snakes too many. Maybe you should only be keeping 1 if feeding them more than once a month is an issue for you. And sometimes even when they're fasting, like with royals, guys, I know that when royals go into fasting, you're not going to be offering them food weekly because that is a waste, but you should be offering them a meal at least every 2 to 3 weeks to see if they're interested and they're gonna break that fast or something like that, guys. But if you can't afford those feeders and you're stretching out those meal schedules to where your snake is only eating like once every 4 weeks, or worse, once every like 6 weeks, and that's not even a boa, that's definitely a red flag that you have way too many snakes. Well, guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I certainly appreciate your time here at Snake Nook, and I hope that some of the things that we talked about has given you some food for thought in case you're wondering if you have too many snakes or how many snakes is too many for you. Guys, if you are at the point where you are in over your head with the number of snakes that you have, don't be embarrassed to reach out to your local animal shelters, your local veterinarians, and ask for some help in the right direction to help you come up with a solution to a possible problem that you may have if you're keeping way too many snakes. You owe it to your snakes to provide the very best care, enough food, adequate shelter, guys. You are their everything. If you're thinking of getting more snakes because you're now suddenly interested in a new species, but you can barely keep up with the ones you have, you need to be responsible, guys. Be responsible and be a committed keeper and do the best that you can to provide the snakes that you already have with a loving and caring home so that they can thrive in captivity under your care, not just barely survive. And in some cases, guys, if you're not doing enough, they're not even surviving. You are their everything. You are your pet snake's greatest advocate, guys. Do all you can to care and love them with your whole heart. Thank you so much for everything, guys. Thank you so much for spending your time here at Snake Nook. And we hope to see you here again next time. Y'all have a good one. Bye.